Hey everyone, welcome back to
Woes of Womanhood.
And today we're going to be talking about a important topic in today's day and age, drinking.
Alcoholism.
So a lot of our generation, Gen Z specifically, has been drinking a lot less. We wanted to speak on that a little bit, talk about our journeys and relationships with drinking throughout the years and kind of where we are now.
We have pretty different journeys with alcohol. So I think it'll give a different perspective on when you need to drink versus when you don't have to, tips and tricks of how to get away without drinking a lot. Just a bunch of good advice.
Great. Some great advice. Okay.
So, should we start out with our alcoholism journey?
Do you have something you need to tell me you're suffering with?
What is it called when you have a convention with your family and friends?
A convention? Like an intervention?
Oh, intervention. What about the alcohol group you go to talk about it?
AA?
Oh, yes. So we're going to have an AA intervention today. We're going to go all the way back to college when we first started drinking. Take it away, Melody. What was your first college experience with alcohol?
The trauma is coming.
Let me just preface. Everyone just know she was an extreme party girl. She was a
365 party girl.
brat.
Where do I even begin?
Let's start with freshman year.
Freshman year going to college, I enjoyed myself. A little bit too much, I think.
Back up. When you say enjoy yourself, what does that mean? Is that 5 shots or is it drinking every day? Like, what was the frequency and what kind of alcohol did you take? What was your favorite?
Let me set the scene with a little story. So I went in for my routine doctor checkup. And you know how they asked you kind of a survey questionnaire and on there is like how many times do you drink? I was like, okay, maybe 12 drinks
A week.
a night.
That's disgusting.
I'm kidding. No, yeah, it was bad. I think I put like 12 on there and the doctor was like, you have 12 drinks. And I think that was honestly low because I went out every day, including Saturday and Sunday. Sunday.
How?
Sunday.
Did you not study?
No, I did, but during the week.
Jesus.
Every night there was some sort of activity happening. Maybe not Mondays, but Tuesdays and Thursdays were bar nights. Wednesdays were party nights. And then obviously Friday, Saturday were also party nights. And then Sunday was like beer die or people had like mimosas or we did like brunch or something. So I was drinking every single day. And when I say drinking, it wasn't like, oh, I'm having like one drink. Shots. Shots. How many? Well, setting the scene. We would get ready. It would take me 1 to 2 hours to get ready. Pre-gaming. Minimum 5 shots. Minimum.
Are you like drunk at that time or were you like kind of starting to get buzzed?
I was like kind of drunk at that point. I mean, also when you start drinking a lot, you kind of get like used to it. This is very alcoholism of me. I'm even thinking about it.
That's why it's our AA journey. Not to make fun of AA.
So in the pregame, I was having like 5 shots. I would go out to another place for like a somewhat pregame or like a party before the actual party. I would have like minimum 3 shots. Then go to the next place, have like another 3 shots. It was bad. It was like 10 drinks a night at least. 6 days in a row.
Were you blacking out? Were you just going to bed soundly? It
No.
seems like you weren't getting affected that much.
No, I wasn't. So this was the thing. I had no ramifications from drinking. I didn't even know what a hangover was. I never felt bad beyond just like feeling tired and maybe slightly dehydrated. I never felt sick. And I think that's what insinuated me to continue that behavior because I never felt any ramifications. I literally didn't even have a headache.
I
which
mean,
is
when we were
insane.
young, we were bouncing back so quick.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what a hangover was until maybe senior year.
Yeah. I literally felt nothing. I was indestructible, truly. That just really perpetuated bad behavior. Going back to your question, did I ever black out? I only ever blacked out one time. And it was when I went to a date in a 5th. I showed up late, so I had to catch up on finishing the 5th. It was a bottle of tequila. And I took like back-to-back shots because I was like trying to catch up on the night. This is the only time I ever blacked out. If people say they black out regularly, how? That was the scariest of my life because I'm like, where was I? What did I do? What did I say? Don't remember any of it. All I remember is taking those shots, blacked out, blacked back in, throwing up over the toilet. All I remember is saying, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Which, of course, I'm thinking about my phone when I'm Blacked out. I don't know who the fuck was around me, but they're like, oh, I have your phone. Blacked out again. Blacked back in, throwing up on grass now. And I'm with a different guy. So I'm like,
so scary. That is so scary.
I'm like just throwing up on the grass. I suddenly come back to consciousness. Black out again. Black back in, and I'm like tucked in someone's bed. Have no idea whose house I'm at. What the just happened?
So you're not even with your date?
No, I wasn't even with my date. Luckily, in the other room, I walk out, and I'm in this house of this guy that I actually know. I didn't know him that well.
So he took care of
But
you.
he took care of me. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Ever since then, if anyone's just like, oh, I blacked out, I'm like, there is no way that you blacked out. And if you did, that is insanity. Because
you shouldn't be doing that.
I cannot believe people go their lives just blacking out and not remembering anything they said or did. Freshman year was a rambunctious year for me, to say the least. Then sophomore year came around, and I actually was commuting to school. Still drinking, but not like insanity like I was freshman year. And I started to feel some of the effects of it. So like I would get a little bit more hungover or feel a little bit sicker at this point. I would probably go out like 4 times a week.
What's happening at these going out?
Junior year rolls around. I decide that I want to graduate in 3 years. A lot of my friends are going abroad. I stayed back, and this is when I was at the end of my sophomore year was when I started my relationship with my now boyfriend. So I think there was a sequence of events of a lot of my friends weren't around. I was in a relationship now, and I had to really focus on school because I wanted to finish early. A combination of all those things made me drink significantly less. I want to say like almost 0.
That's crazy. Already in junior year, you like develop the frontal lobe.
Even on my 21st birthday, I remember my 21st birthday, I was like asleep. My friends came in with an ice for me, and I'm like, I don't even want to drink this. And I was like literally in bed on my 21st birthday.
You didn't drink your ice?
I drank like 1 sip. One of the nights, let me tell you,
Yes.
we were throwing a party at our house, and there was a Sky vodka or something, and I'm taking shots. I probably take around 4 shots, and then when we're out a little bit, like maybe 2 more drinks. So like 6 drinks total, which is nothing compared to what I used to drink. I kid you not, the next day, I was hungover for 2 days straight. I was constantly throwing up. I couldn't even move. I was throwing up so much. I had like bursted capillaries all over my face and like in my eyes from like throwing up and dry heaving. I could only eat saltine crackers, so I had like crackers next to me. I couldn't even move out of my bed for 2 days straight. And this is the story about why I can never drink vodka anymore. I think from that event, because anytime I even as much as take a sip of an espresso martini with vodka in it or anything with vodka, my head hurts immediately and my stomach hurts immediately. And I think it's from that moment when I got so sick that my body was like, absolutely not. As I've started slowly like drinking a little bit here and there, I drink only tequila, wine, or rum. And it's for that reason.
I'm just like visualizing everything you're saying, and it's like playing like a movie, and I'm just like shocked.
That was kind of my journey through college, one extreme to the other extreme. There was a lot of different factors that played into it. The Melody freshman year to the Melody junior year, who was she?
Did you lose friends?
Definitely people asking me to go out sizzled because, I mean, I don't blame them because every time I would say no, I didn't want to go out.
Yeah.
And what kind of sucks is that when you're going out, I think obviously my freshman year was so chaotic and crazy, but I built so many connections and knew so many people because I was out at the same places every time. I would see the same people over and over again. Truly an amazing way for me to build a network of people who I knew and knew of me, which is crazy because I'm like, you never think of that pro of like drinking as a networking activity.
Oh,
But
totally is.
It totally is.
Well, mine is a little bit different because I was still kind of new to alcohol. I didn't really take a lot of shots even my freshman year, like in the beginning months. I was gradually introduced to it. I wasn't in a sorority in my first year. I was like, oh, alcohol, it just makes me want to dance. But then after I joined a sorority, it was shots, shots, shots. It does introduce you to a community of people who drink and like different parties and fraternities. That's where I kind of learned to drink. And it was probably 6 shots was a lot for me. I also did other substances, the legal ones. That's where I started to get introduced to the feeling of both at the same time.
crushed.
Alcohol didn't do much to me. Like I needed an additional stimulant to make me actually feel.
That's so
level.
crazy because I feel like you really had a weed era in college. I like would smoke here and there, but it was never like a thing for me.
So when I started both, I was like, I like the other thing more. So then I started to really dive into it. It was first started out with just friends. It was just super chill. I didn't even know how to smoke it. But then the next thing I know, I'm rolling it up for everyone. Oh, I can roll the spliffs. I can roll the blunts.
Yo, Miss Mary J.
Yeah, I'm like, I got the bubbler. I got the literally everything. The sadder part was that I started to do it by myself before night. Like during lunchtime. I should not be doing this with studying and everything.
So because you were doing that, you weren't drinking as much, do you think?
Probably sophomore year, junior year, I needed both.
That's crazy. I feel like if I did both, I would be like, whoa! Like the guy dancing in the club, like.
Quantity-wise, it was like 6 shots. I just remember when you were talking about your handle story, I remembered one story. So I would drink any type of alcohol except for Malibu. Malibu I hated. One night, this group of girls, I think they loved Honey Jack.
I don't even know what that is.
Jack and Daniels, but the honey version. So it's in like a gold container.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, we'll just give you this. Like, you can just take a swig of it. And then me and this girl were trying to finish a 5th. And then she was like, just finish it. Just finish it. It was still like literally the full bottle. I just go,
no.
The whole thing.
No.
The whole thing.
No.
And then I'm like, see, I'm so strong. Like, it's because I have so much tolerance to like both things. Like, I'm so, dude. The world wavy. I'm like, I'm so wavy. I go immediately to the bathroom, explode. Right. And that was when I was like, holy crap. Alcohol is no joke. It's poisonous.
I mean, it's literally poison.
It's literally poison. I was shocked at how I felt so drunk, even though everything came out. The whole bottle came out. But I was still drunk. And we couldn't even make it to the function. Every time I would drink, I would end up not being classy.
I feel like I always ended up in gray situations.
I guess like the functions we were at were pretty different.
Right.
I mean, it was a really fun time.
Right.
It was extremely fun, and mine lasted until senior year.
I mean, there is a super fun aspect to it, but I feel like it's the kind of fun that you would only enjoy at that specific time in your life.
Yeah, and we were just rambunctious college students. We didn't really care about safety. Like we thought we were so safe in our campus and even like right outside. When I turned 21, I had brunch in PB and it was so chill. It was so cute. Again, I was like crossed.
So we clearly had very different journeys with alcohol. I feel like yours was kind of like the rise of your alcohol era with like a side story. Mine was like a quick rise and fall.
It was very intense, and I think you kind of realize how bad alcohol is.
Yeah.
For me, I realized how bad weed is for me.
Right.
At that moment.
Exactly. I do want to reiterate, I think the biggest contributor to me stopping drinking as much was because I had actual physical effects of sickness and like feeling the hangover that made me feel so sick. And that's something that even spills over to today. That leads me to kind of post-grad to where I'm at now. Post-graduation, again, wasn't really drinking that much. I kind of turned into no more shots at all. But I've always been a cocktail girl through and through. So I always just had like a few cocktails here and there. I think there was never really an occasion where I had to drink that much because then we went into COVID era and then I was doing my MBA and then we came to San Francisco. So we didn't really have parties anymore. Like it was like birthdays where maybe people would drink more. It was always kind of like 1, 2, maybe 3 drinks at a dinner or going out to bars where you could totally control the amount of drinks that you had. Like I was always very good at maintaining only like 2, 3, max 4 cocktails when I went out because I was also so cautious of not wanting to feel sick. The longer I go without drinking, the harder it hits me when I do drink. Even 1 or 2 drinks, I'll feel it. And it makes me feel so sick.
She does get really sick. And I think her relationship also kind of helps. Both of them are not drinkers. For me, my college experience was 4 years, so it got abruptly cut with COVID. No social gatherings. I went back to Japan, finished my college remotely, and then I was just with my parents that whole COVID year. I longed for that last bit of college. It was like probably 5 or 6 months left of college, but that was when I turned 21 and I was like, finally, this is my last celebration of being, young. I didn't get that because of COVID. We had to do a lockdown. And so then after that was my clubbing era. I clubbed so hard. So I was in Singapore. I clubbed there. I clubbed back
Well,
in Japan.
I also feel like you were in a new environment. I mean, I know you like had a clubbing era, but you were also in a new environment in Singapore, at least,
Yeah.
where that, and you were single. So it's like that's like what you do.
Yeah. And it was so fun. And I don't really remember taking like shots and shots. Like it wasn't heavy drinking. I didn't lose thoughts.
I didn't
wasn't
lose my
spinning.
mind.
With work, I've only had remote jobs or partially remote jobs, so there was no drinking with the team. A lot of people didn't like to drink in my previous roles, but now fast forward my current work, drinking is part of the job. Honestly, I enjoy it. People might be shocked at how much we drink.
It's a frat party lifestyle.
It's a frat party, so I'm happy I'm trained up. I do feel the repercussions of drinking a lot. The next day now, I feel so inflamed. I feel like I'm off of my fitness. But one thing I can talk about work drinking, and we can segue into like some tips of how to kind of get away with that, is that sometimes it is necessary to take that one drink. You might not have to finish it, but showing that you're open to drinking and be in that vulnerable state with everyone is part of the networking, connecting.
Some people can feel very standoffish when it's like everyone is drinking and you're not. And then they offer you a drink and you're like, no. And they're like, are you trying to watch over us? People can feel some certain type of way if you're drawing that hard boundary.
Also, as the drunkies, we feel like we need to continuously involve you into conversations if you're not actively doing that. There is a little bit more responsibility coming with not drinking. You have to proactively be a contributor.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're doing that, totally. Like, we're not here to make you drink poison, obviously. You have to be actively including yourself.
These are some of the tactics that I use to get around that because I've gotten very comfortable with being around a lot of people drinking when I necessarily don't want to drink that much. So for one, if I completely don't want to drink, sometimes it really just comes down to having something in your hand. But what I'll do, because we're trying to save on calories, I literally just do a soda water with lime. It's free. You go up to the counter, just like go off on your own. It looks exactly like a vodka soda. Like no one will know. As long as you have something in your hand and you're involving yourself in the discussion and like laughing along, being engaging, no one will notice.
They might be like, oh, what are you drinking? And you just say tequila soda.
Yeah. Also, what you can do if you want to have one drink or if someone buys you a drink, sip on that drink for as long as you can. People don't really pay attention. If you just sip here and there, like you can essentially have that drink in your hand the whole night. Sometimes people will call you out though.
Oh, they always call me out.
They'll be like, oh, why are you babysitting that drink?
Yeah. Have you been babysitting it?
Yeah, and you can just kind of like laugh it off or be like, no, this is my second one.
They're not trying to harm you.
Yeah. They're not trying to harm you. They're just poking fun. I think that's the best way that I've seen a lot of success with still trying to be included. First of all, for you, it helps kind of be a security blanket for you. Like, oh, you have something in your hands. I don't know. It feels less like you're like,
Exactly.
hello.
Obviously, that liquid confidence gets you a different way. You're a lot more comfortable. You're flowing, so you get more rowdy. But that non-drinker, they can be proactively engaging, but they're not going to be rowdy, which also is like a differentiator.
That is true.
Unfortunately.
But if you even do like 2 drinks, get a little tipsy, like
Yeah, that's true.
it can loosen you up. But yeah, it is a difference of energy.
And that's like the sad part. I wish there was something that's like less toxic than alcohol that can bring you up to that energy level.
Right, yeah.
Maybe we're not supposed to be at that energy level. Like, if we're going to talk
when you're
spiritual.
drinking, it's always down bad.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to speak about in life the way that I've reduced my drinking a lot. One big thing that's been a transition, especially as I've gotten into my later 20s, with the girls, I think it's really important to kind of pick and choose the occasions that are worth drinking at. I would say work things often are the ones that I'm like, I know I'm going to be having at least one drink.
Priority.
That's what I say, yeah. Work is always priority. Also, like any type of birthday, or even if I'm trying a new restaurant, I will also allow myself one drink because I just love that personally, like trying craft cocktails or like a celebratory thing. Like I'll always do at least 1, maybe 2 drinks. So those are the occasions where I'm like, okay, I know I'm probably going to go into it and be having a drink. But otherwise, if I'm just hanging out with my girlfriends, we will actually be very intentional about planning activities that are not drinking based. So what do I mean by that? We're not going to plan a night out at the club or bar hopping. But what's something we might alternatively do? Like we would host a cute at-home hosting function where we'll have like cute treats and mocktails just ourselves. Or we'll go out to a cute brunch where instead of like taking shots and shots, maybe we'll just have like one drink or just have like, you know, a mocktail or orange juice. So there are a lot of things that we do to intentionally plan activities and events that aren't alcohol centric.
Mind you, this is advice for those who already in a relationship and then it's already 26. For me, I'm not in a relationship, I'm 26. To meet people and connect with people are going to be those like bar hoppings.
That is a good consideration. Overall, if I was single today, I definitely would be drinking a lot more. Mm-hmm. And that just goes back to drinking truly does bring people together and help deepen connections because it just lets people bring down some of those walls. But you can still only have like one or two drinks when you go out.
Exactly.
But you probably want to be going out more.
Yeah.
And might be drinking more.
No more shots.
No more shots for me, personally. You're a shot girl, I know.
It just gets it quickly and I get there faster. I just don't enjoy the taste of alcohol.
Okay. I want to double click on that. Because you're saying that, oh, it gets me there quicker as in like you get drunker. Like for me, drinking is no longer about how drunk can I get. I actually don't want to get drunk. Mm-hmm. Like drinking is more for the social aspect or for like an experience. Like it is so different than just getting drunk now.
So no tipsy even.
If I feel tipsy, I know I will feel sick the next day. If I felt no ramifications, yeah, I would definitely drink.
In this current trend is that we're moving towards no alcohol or alcohol free or like mocktails. I know there's real science behind why we shouldn't be drinking, which I totally agree. But it's just unfortunate how our society is still revolved around alcohol. Yeah. Because that's like the most legal drug there is. I just wish society would do something.
Not alcohol. I've seen
maybe a kava drink. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot more beverages coming onto the market. There's also like mushroom gummies and stuff that I've seen.
Well, I hope kava sponsors us because we can have little high energy kava drinks.
Oh, that would be fun.
There's no caffeine in them, but I think it makes you feel like joy.
Mao's always like, I'm looking for those aphrodisiacs. No, adaptogens.
Aphrodisiacs?
That's like sexual, right?
Yeah.
Mao's always looking for the adaptogen.
It does affect me. I would like to think placebo.
Honestly, period, placebo, like, go off.
That was our alcohol journey. I would love to know your guys's and how you're dealing with situations where you have to involve a lot of alcohol and drinking.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a slippery slope, especially when it comes to work, dating, any relationships. So would love to hear your perspective. I know people are kind of shifting more towards no alcohol. Is that true for you?
That was all for our AA session.
And we'll see you next Thursday for our next video. Thanks so much. Bye.